Hey everybody, this is Darren with Gen X Paranormal. I'm going to be the first in a series of kind of get to know you videos for the Gen X team. Since I'm the one running the social media for now, I'm going to go ahead and be the first. I'm going to be asking the team different questions. So what I'm going to be talking about here is pretty much going to be pretty similar to what's being asked of the group. It's going to be just kind of background why they got into paranormal and some different things that have happened on within the investigations we've done and things like that. So here's the first video in learning about Gen X paranormal investigations. Okay, one of the first big questions that I want to ask everybody is why they got into paranormal. Did something happen to them that was paranormal and when they were younger, or they just wanted to do it, something to that effect? And if they were a believer or a skeptic before starting investigations. For me, I was my grandmother's house was haunted. So my mom and her brothers and sisters were raised in this home. They didn't talk about it when they were younger. When they grew up and moved out and they got older, they started talking about it. So as us kids were around, we started hearing all these stories and several things. So we knew about it, and the house was creepy. Now, there was creepy things that just seemed to happen. I'm not going to go into the whole story of everything that happened to all my relatives. I have another video here on YouTube for that, so you can check that one out. It'll have the history behind the hauntings of the house. But just to what happened to me when I was younger, we were staying the night, and it was me, my brother, and my cousin. We were on the pull-out couch in the den, and bad thing was hearing all these stories over the years. You knew something could be there, so sleeping there was not very. It wasn't a good restful night. Well, anyway, while we were there in the middle of the night, for whatever reason, the door between the living room and the den opened on its own. This had never happened. Now, in the living room was the stairs. Right at the living room door to the den was where you would come down the bottom of the stairs. And people for years would be in the den and think there was somebody on that other side of the door wanting you to open the door. Well, it decided to open itself one night while we were there sleeping. So that was not very fun. Because upstairs is where a lot of things seem to happen. So we knew something was up there and it might have come down. So my brother went and ran, grabbed my grandmother. She came, closed the door, and her explanation just was, oh, the door wasn't closed all the way. Nah, I don't believe that. Still don't to this day. Well, as the night went on, we're laying there, and I'm laying there, and then I'm starting to hear cabinets and dishes rattle in the kitchen right around the open door between the den and the kitchen. And I was just hoping it was my grandmother, but see, I have no idea what time of the morning it was. We didn't have a clock, very easy to see, but I think it was still pretty early morning time, so she wouldn't have been up yet. Even when I asked her, she said she wasn't in there. But to this day, I still wish I would have looked around the corner to see if I'd have seen something moving, seen something there. But as a young kid, you don't think about that. Today, if it would happen, I would have ran right into the kitchen to see what's going on. So, but that's just today. So as a believer, a skeptic coming into paranormal, yes, I believe stuff's out there. What it is, why it's there, don't know that. Now, do I believe every place that's supposed to be haunted is? No. So that part I'm a little skeptical of. We have to find our evidence just to make sure. We look for other possibilities for that. But I do believe that things are out there. So one of the other things that everybody's going to get asked is, what's their favorite place they've investigated? I personally don't have a favorite. Um, I like just about everyone we've ever done. I mean, we've had something a little different happen at each place, so it's kind of one of those things. Um, who knows? I haven't hit that. We've had nothing but activity all night, so I don't have a favorite as far as that goes. One of the other questions I'm gonna want to know is what the craziest thing you've had happen on an investigation. Well, think of it. I've had a couple things now that I can talk about. It's not on one investigation; it's on a couple different ones. Let's see. One of the first investigations we did the old Lavaca County Jail, and I was doing my initial walkthrough. The jail is actually built in. It's got the original structure that was built in the 1800s, and then it had a smaller building added. I think you know middle of the 1900s ish. I can't remember the exact dates on that. We have a full video on this location, but I was just doing an initial walkthrough, and I was out in the newer part, and I actually heard a whistle with my own ears. It was caught on my camera. It was very faint, so I had to really adjust the audio to hear that during the putting it out for our the video that we did for it. But the other thing about that place was one of our other investigators. He had put a EVP recorder and just let it run all night. He caught the same whistle. It's the exact same, how people. It was the same tone, so I don't know if it was the same whistle that I heard when I heard it, or if it was a different time of night. Because apparently that is a common occurrence at that location. And then one of my other things that just happened on a recent investigation was at it was the old Mardi Gras Museum in Galveston. Um, while we were there, I was just doing my initial walkthrough, and somebody in a corner was taking just pictures. They took 3 back-to-back pictures, and on the third picture, there's a shadow figure behind me. I didn't know anything about it while I was doing the walkthrough, and while they were doing the pictures, I continued my walkthrough, went to a different part of the building, and when I walked by a couple of the girls, they were doing, they had a spirit talker going, and as I walked by, it started saying following, and they thought, "Oh, are you following Darren?" Trying to get an interaction with the spirit. Well, a little bit later, when I saw the pictures, it was following me. It was behind me, and then it seemed to be following me around the thing. So that seemed to, those are a couple of the weird things that have happened to me. The most interesting so far. Okay, one of the other things I'm going to talk to the team about is the team is kind of broken up into the main team. Everybody does ghost hunting investigations, but we have a specific set of members that do what we call harvest. I'm probably going to talk about it a little bit more because I know Aaron, he's not going to really go into it as much. So I'm just going to kind of generalize. Um, think of a harvest like people that do cleansings. Same concept, just a little bit different way to do it. We kind of believe that these dark energies are, they're energies. Their energy can't be destroyed, it can be moved. So we harvest the energy, we attach it to an object and remove it from the place, the home, if it's bothering somebody, and, do that. So one of the things I wanted to talk to the people, members of that team, is what their most memorable or what they felt the best about doing one of that. As far as since I do some of these, um, we went to Louisiana. There was a guy. He's done some investigations with us. He's a friend of Aaron, so he's been on a few investigations. He's been on one with me, and I think he went on a few before I joined the team. He moved to Louisiana, and the place he was living with some friends, they had something that was dark there, and Aaron went one weekend on his own because he was already that way doing some other things. So he stopped by and then did something in the home. Well, while Aaron was on his way back home from there, he got another call from him, said there's something out in their like shed, it's like a shed, a building by itself. And so Aaron said he'll be back the following weekend, and I came with him. Well, while doing the investigation in there, I used a ghost tube seer. It's an app that does, instead of doing words, it uses AI to do images for what the spirits want to show you. I was in there doing that and got a real dark image. Aaron came in to do his part for the harvest to remove the energy. Then I came back in and got another image that was a serene, like a light setting. So it actually showed a difference between what was there and what wasn't. And then come to find out, this home was built on what used to be a plantation. So with a plantation, some of the owners were not very nice. So we think that whatever was there was a dark leftover energy from that time frame. And we think when we got it out of there, it allowed some of the other spirits that were trapped there to move on, be free, or not be felt like they're being held hostage. I did there is a video out there of what I did that and show you the images that I got. It's on YouTube also. So that's kind of one of the better ones that I've done for that I felt more involved with. Okay, that's going to do it for my part of this. I just wanted to close it out. It's going to get posted. It'll be on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. So wherever you're watching it, like, subscribe, follow us. We're not in this. We don't do this for monetary. We're a small paranormal group. We just want to get our name out there to so we can help people that are dealing with this. That's the hardest part of the team. So we just wanted to put this out there to kind of show a little more of each particular person in the group. Because like with me, you see me when doing this, but you usually don't see me in a lot of the video for during the investigation, because I've usually, while I'm investigating, I've got the cameras and I am editing, so I'm behind it. So you hear me talking on a lot of it, but you don't actually see me and know why I was part of the paranormal group. And I just want to do that for each person, because sometimes we don't get a lot of video with each particular member either, just depending on the location or what's happening. So until next time, I hope to see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye. Hey, there was one question I forgot to say that I was going to ask everybody. And so I've got to say my own thing is, why did we join the Gen X team? For me, it was one of those things. I've always wanted to do this. I didn't know this existed. I was in the Navy. After I got out, came home, and then all of a sudden, Ghost Hunters came out. And I'm saying, wow, there's people able to do this. So it was one of those things I always wanted to do, but never had the ability to do it when I was with my ex at the time. But I tried to form my own team. Well, I tried to join a different team, but our location didn't really work out. It was a little too far to get together all the time. And then I tried to do my own. I kept putting it into the groups on Facebook, and everybody said, yeah, let's do that. So I said, meet up at this date. Well, nobody ever showed up, like multiple times. So I tried again, and Gen X said, well, come by. We'll see how you uh, hear from you, see how you do. And ever since then, I've been a member of the group. Being that I am Gen X, that does make a difference too. I wanted to ask this because some of our people aren't actually in the Gen X age range, but we'll let you hear from their thing. But it all turned out great because these are a great group of people, and I don't think I would change that for anything.